All right. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you all here. It is 10:35. We will get started with the webinar. I'm going to share my screen again. We have a lot to get through, so I'm going to try to go fast today. And the plan is to wrap up the project next week, Saturday, and get everything completed. But then after that, you're on your own to customize it however you would like. Here's our agenda for the day. Introduction. Today, what we're going to do is build out our mileage tracker app with a screen flow for entries. We're going to work on our image fields. I figured out what I needed to do to get the image fields to work like 20 minutes after we ended last week. So I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. And then we're going to build a process builder to award the badges. It can be done in Flow as well. I just have it built out previously in Process Builder, so I can show you that. If we have time, we're going to build a report and a dashboard. And then at the end, we will wrap up and have a surprise. We'll talk about next steps and give you guys the discount code. All right, a little bit about me. I was a PE teacher for 12 years before becoming an admin. I'm now 15 months into my first role. Found out about Salesforce in March 2019, took over a year to get certified. So hopefully you guys can do it faster than that with the help of SaaS Guru. Got my first role a year later, and then I've earned 5 certifications since then. All right, so now a little bit about SaaS Guru. SaaS Guru is a certification like prep company, and they have, I think, 6 different Salesforce certifications and a Flow course as well, which if you haven't checked out the Flow course, it's really cool. I went through it. It's not very long, but it kind of touches base on a lot of the basic elements of Flow, which was helpful. And I learned a few things as well. SaaS Guru is tailored based on the first thing you do when you sign up for a program is take a practice test. And then how you score on that test, it tailors your program based on that score. It's summarized. It's a lot of like micro modules, short videos with little quizzes in there. And it's gamified as well. You can kind of see down here in the corner, you get badges for completing tasks. There's a leaderboard like for everyone doing system admin course. Where do you rank among them as well? There is a community as well, and it's huge. I just checked today and it was over 8,000 now in the Slack group. So that's pretty nice to see. They have a lot of content on their website as well, blog posts. We do live classes like you're in today. There's mentoring where you can set up one-on-one calls with people. I am not currently one of those, but I think I will be in the future, where you can do 15, 30, or 60-minute calls with someone who's working with SaaS Guru. And after looking at all those people on there, I think they're all quite a bit smarter than me. So if you need help, definitely reach out to one of them. There's also projects, kind of like what we're doing today. They have projects and they have other ones as well. And the ultimate goal is to help you get that career. And they have some programs as well set up to help you find that career in Salesforce. All right, so SaaS Guru is supercharging your Salesforce certification. It's kind of meant to be going hand in hand with your learning in Trailhead. And again, it has that benchmark where we do our practice test first, see where we stand, personalizes our training, gives us tools to revise like flashcards, practice quizzes, practice tests based on section level or full practice tests. And again, the mentor is there that you can reach out to. I want to say there's almost 10 Salesforce mentors out there. It's somewhere around there. And ultimate goal, get that certification. Once you get that certification, hopefully you can land a Salesforce role. All right. All right, a little bit about the community. It is not just meant to be you training on your own. The biggest thing is the Slack community, which you get a link to when you sign up for a course. And they have hackathons that you can do for different certifications, which is basically taking the practice test and see how you rank against everyone else who joins that hackathon, which is pretty fun. I've done a couple of them. And if you do the hackathon, you get registered for certification vouchers. You could win it. It doesn't mean you have to be first or the highest scorer, but just participating gets you registered for that. I'm on their blog. They have product tips and updates. There's many live classes and webinars now. I think every day I see a post about it in the Slack group or on LinkedIn. And I'd say there's probably 5 or 6 per week now, somewhere in that range, which is nice to see. And again, that Slack community is 24/7 help. I'm on there all day. I leave it up on my computer and I can help when I'm awake, but we have gurus on the other side of the world who can help as well. So there's always someone there that can help you guys out. Because the documentation isn't quite up to date, I'm not even going to open that up. But I wanted to show you this real quick. I'm keeping track of all the recordings we have, and I'm going to post these links, and I'll be able to share that out with you guys eventually. So if you miss a session, you can come back and watch them all, or they also post them in the Slack group as well. If we get to our Salesforce org, I'm going to show you guys what to do first with the badge image URL. Okay. So if you get into setup, and then object manager, let's go to our badge object. And we were kind of stuck here on where to go from there. We have both of these fields built out, the badge image and the badge image link, and they kind of work together. Okay. And we also uploaded in the files, I uploaded one badge last week. Okay. So you can upload them all because you will be using them all. You can create your own badges if you want, so they look a little bit different. But the big thing that we were trying to figure out was where to get the link from. Okay. And what we do is we paste it into this field on the badges object. So let me see. Let me open one up for us. All right, it is going slow. So as this is loading, I'm going to show you. So in the files, we have it uploaded. All you have to do is click on the link and it's going to pop up. And that's my image. And I was kind of looking and wondering where the link is coming from. What you want to do is on this image is right click and copy image address. So that's going to give me the URL that I need. Okay, way easier than what I thought last week. Okay, so that's my 5K badge. Now, if I go to the badges right here, on my 5K badge, I'm going to show you how this works. In the image link, I'm going to delete that and you'll see that the image disappears. So there's no picture here. And I just have text pop up if there's no image, which is fine. So now if I paste what I copied, it's a pretty long URL. And I know there's like a 255 character limit. So you can actually delete all the way up to .com. From the start all the way up to .com, I can delete that. and then click save, and boom. That's my image. So hopefully we have our 5K one now, and hopefully we have another one. If you can get at least 2 badges today, because we're going to build out all our automation to just 2 badges, and then you guys can build out the rest on your own. So I can kind of show you here. If I find that 10K or 10-mile badge, it would be the same thing. I would click on it, right click, copy image address, and then I would just paste it in here. So that's our badge. And this badge we can award to multiple people using our awarded badges. Okay. Junction object is what that's for. All right. So hopefully you have 1, maybe 2 of these set up. What we're going to go to next is a field that we kind of need behind the scenes to allow us to award the badge only one time. So we're going to create a couple checkbox fields that allow us to give the badge out, not more than once, basically. So hopefully you have a 5K and a 10-mile badge built out. And we're actually going to go to the runners object. So I go back to object manager. I'm actually going to do this in this one. Let's see. No, I'm going to keep showing you in the other one. Sorry about that. All right, so on the runner object, we need to create a few checkbox fields, and we're just going to do 2 today. And you can see I have mine built out already. And this is the first one. Okay. We are going to create, and it's actually a formula field. That is a checkbox. So it basically gets checked on its own based on our total miles. Is that the one I want to use? Give me just a second, guys. $5K earned. Okay, that is not the one. All right. 5K earned. Okay. All right, I lied. We are going to build a regular checkbox field. So I'm just going to make basically a duplicate of this one. So we're going to click new field, go to checkbox, click next, and you're going to name it, I can say 5K badge. I'm going to call it awarded because I already have one named something else similar. All right, so I name it. You can add a description, click next. I do want it visible for all these people, so I'm just going to click next again. I'm going to add it to the layout just so we can see it in action, but in reality, I would not have this visible. I would have it just behind the scenes, but I'm going to leave it here so we can see it today. All right, so I created my 5K one. I'm going to create a 10K checkbox as well. So go to checkbox, next. I'm going to call it 10K awarded, or 10 mile, sorry, 10 mile awarded. Okay. Keep it visible here, allow everyone to see it. Again, I would remove this in reality if I was building this for real, but I am going to add it just so we can see it in action. And you guys might want to leave it on too, just so you can see it. All right, so I have my 10-mile awarded. My 5-mile awarded is a little bit further down. So that's a little behind the scenes checkboxes we need. And what we're going to do next actually is go to Process Builder. Okay, and I have one built out already that goes all the way to 100. Does a whole bunch of things. We're just going to build out the first 2 parts of this. And then you guys can build out the rest. Again, this can be done in Flow. I just don't have it built out that way. So let's go back. That's the end one. Actually, I do want to keep that up. I'm going to go to Setup, Search Process Builder. Let's see. All right. Let me open up what I have. Okay, so in Process Builder, we're going to click New. Try it in Flow. Yeah, that's nice. We're going to continue in Process Builder. And I'm going to call this Award Badges. Tab through it. Give it a quick description. And this is going to be when a record changes. So when our runner record hits one of the milestones, then we're going to award the badges, essentially. So we're going to do a record change, click Save. All right, so now we have our blank Process Builder. Object is going to be runner. Okay. It already has my old one. You guys won't see that. And we're going to do it when it's created or edited. Okay, and click Save. Because it's not just when we build the new runner when we want this to happen. We want it as the runner's total miles progress. We want it to change. We're going to click Save. And then in our criteria, this is basically us looking at our total miles. Do our total miles hit this certain level? Okay. And if it does hit that mile marker and the checkbox is not checked, then we will create a new badge for them. Okay, that's essentially what we're going to do. So let me take a look at this one. So this is what we're going to build out. Name your criteria, just 5K or 5K badge, 5K milestone, something like that. And we're going to do conditions are met. So the first thing that has to be met is on our runner, we want our total miles. Okay. To not equal anything, we want it to be greater than or equal to, and a 5K is 3.1 miles. Okay, so that's our first criteria. If we left it like that, every time we did miles above 3.1, it would create a new 5K badge, which we don't want. We only want it to do it one time. So we're going to add this other one. And this is where we're using our checkbox field. So on our runner, you guys will have a really short list. 5K. This was my new one I created, 5K badge awarded. Okay. And we want it to go through this process when it's unchecked. So it's never received the badge before. Okay. And we want it when both of those are met. So 3.1 miles and the checkbox is false. So we're going to click save. All right. So what is it going to do? Let's take a look at our built one already. So as you can see here, I did a chatter post as well, which we're not going to worry about today. What are we going to do? We're going to award the 5K badge. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So we'll go back. We're going to create a record. So we're creating an awarded badge record. Is what we're doing. And then you can name it award 5K badge. And the record type is an awarded badge. All right, so let's take a look. So we need to look up the badge ID and get that ID. So if we go back here to badges, you're going to want to copy and paste. And I don't think this is the best way to do it, hard coding stuff like this, but it does work. Okay, so I copied, and this is just the ID for the 5K badge. And then the runner is going to be the runner ID. It's a formula for runner ID. So I'm going to change that to formula, which just means it's the current runner that it's looking at, essentially is what it's going to be. So formula. And when I build my formula, okay, it should just be runner ID. So I'm going to look for, I click on field, and it already has runner selected for me. I'm just going to click ID, and then I'm going to kind of scroll down to record ID. Okay. And you'll see that it equals runner ID. And I'm going to click use this formula. Okay. And then awarded badge name. So what do I want the name of that record to be? I think I left it just as a string, 5K badge. You could do a formula where it could be like badge name plus runner name, something like that. But let's just keep it simple today. So I'm just going to have it be a string where it's 5K badge. And I'm going to click save. So that's my only action right now, is creating the 5K badge, which is fine. You can add a chatter post later if you want. And I'm basically going to do the exact same thing here and here for my 10-mile badge. So I'm going to click add criteria. And I'm going to go total miles is greater than or equal to 10. Okay. And then I need to do the checkbox for my 10K as well. So I'm going to say our 10-mile badge awarded, 10-mile awarded. Okay, equals false. So I need both of those conditions to be true to award the 10K badge. Okay. I'm going to click save. I don't know if it's going slow or what. Oh, I need to name my criteria. Okay, sorry. That would be why it's not saving. There we go. All right. So my action is going to be the exact same as this one. So what am I doing? I'm creating a record. Let's say award 10-mile badge. Record type is awarded badge. Okay, badge ID. We need to go get our actual 10K badge here. And I've looked at it recently. So pretty easy to find. Gonna copy that ID. Paste it in here. This is going to be my formula. Again, and I'm going to build it. And it's going to be just runner ID. And it's record ID. Choose. Use this formula. Okay. And then awarded badge name. I'm going to show you, we can build that formula where it's badge name, runner name. So let's take a look at that. I think I can do that. Actually, I won't be able to do that because we don't have we can't look at that badge. All right, so we're going to award the badge with the name 10-mile badge to the runner whose record is updated and giving them that badge ID, which is related to our 10. All right, so we have those two. All right, but this is the part of the process where if I turn it on now and activate it, every time I'm above 3.1, it's going to award the badge because we haven't done anything with our checkbox, right? So what I can do is add another action here in the 5K. And I'm actually going to update a record. Okay. I'm updating the 5K checkbox. Okay. And I'm doing it on the runner record that started our process. Okay, which makes sense, right? We want to check that box so he's never awarded that again. All right, and then what do I want to do? What field? I want to do my 5K awarded, and I want to, it's already false, right? It's blank. I want to update it to true, and then click save. All right. So what can happen, and it would really probably only happen at this point, is I might have to award 2 badges at the same time. So when I build this out on all of these, I'm actually going to click evaluate the next criteria. So on all of them. So if you look at my one that I built out already, I have those all set to that all the way to the end. Okay. So make sure you click that. I can't do it now because there's nothing next. When you build the next one, you'll be able to update that as well. All right. So we update the checkbox. I have to do the same thing here on the 10-mile. I'm going to add an action, update record, update 10-mile checkbox. The record that started this process. No criteria. I'm just going to update it. And I'm going to do 10-mile awarded to true. Okay, you just want it to be the same field that is part of this filter criteria. Okay, so I have 10-mile awarded there, and I also have it here. So now it'll only happen once. I'm going to click activate here, confirm, and I actually have to deactivate this one. This is the one I built out previously. Confirm. All right. So all I have set up now is our 5K and 10K build out. Okay. So we can go and test that really quick. So if you get back to any runner record, and this one is already built out a little bit. So I'm actually going to create a new person. If you guys have somebody that is at 0 miles, you can leave them there. These are all extra stuff we don't really need. I just need a new runner. All right, so this person has 0 miles. And I'm going to create new mile entries. And you guys, I believe it's in the related tab. You're going to have the mile entries. So I'm just going to do one. And I'm going to go above that 3.1 miles or exactly at 3.1. And just test, does it create my awarded badge? Oop, no, that's not what I want. So I'm going to pick a date. Miles run, I'm going to say 4. Click save. Let's see. Might need to refresh. Let's see. Please work. Awarded badge. 5K badge is awarded. Has my image that I'm looking for. It gives me a date and time. And this is kind of tricky. It's when the person adds the mile entry. It might not be the actual date they completed the run. All right, so if I do another one, we have it built out to 10 miles. I'm at 4 miles now. So if I do another one, and I get to 10 or higher, let's see what happens. Okay, it's created. It just doesn't refresh right away. So let me click refresh. We'll take a look. Should be there. Everything is set up. And what I don't want to see, I do not want to see a second 5K badge. That means our checkboxes are working correctly. So I can see I only have the 2. And then as you build it out, if you use my images, I have an award at 25, 50, and 100. So you could potentially get 5 badges, I believe. All right. So we got that working. Hopefully everyone got it working correctly. What we're going to build next is the screen flow that you can see right there. It's going to get hidden. This screen flow here. And I put it on my home page, which you guys don't quite have yet. And I also put it in the utility bar right here. Okay. So if we get back to setup, and search flows, this is going to be a super simple flow, and we want it to be a screen flow. I already have it built out, but I'm going to create a second one for you guys. We want to click screen flow here, click create. And I'm going to show you my built out one already. So we can kind of drag everything to the screen already, and then we can fill it out later. First thing we're going to do is a screen component. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, click the plus button. I was looking for the non-auto layout. Click screen. And we're going to call it mileage entry. Or mile entry, or kind of whatever you want. That's gonna be our screen. All right, let's take a peek in here. What we want to add is a lookup to the runner, a date field, and a miles run field. Okay, so those are the three things we want to add. I'm going to kind of go back to footer. Just wanted to see that real quick. All right. So I'm actually going to configure the footer right now. We don't need to go back because it's only going to be one screen, and we don't need to pause this either. So we can, under configure footer, we can click hide previous. So it hides that button, hide pause button. Okay, so we just want that. And I think I just left it as finish. Yep. All right. So now we need to add our lookup to the runner. So over here, you scroll through, grab the lookup component. You can drag it over, or you can double click it. It's kind of up to you. And I believe I said who ran when I spelled it wrong. Okay, so this has to be unique to the flow. And this is where it gets tricky on these lookup components. I always had a really hard time of being able to look up to the correct object and field and all that stuff. So I'm just going to look here. The field API name I want is runner underscore name underscore C. And that's the field on the mileage entry object that I'm going to fill out. Okay, and if we actually I'm gonna double check, make sure that's correct. Because if any of these are wrong, then okay, so here we go. We got runner underscore C. So I'm actually going to copy that. So you guys are going to want to copy and paste that. Okay. Make sure it's on the mile entry and whatever your runner field is called. So in this other org, I believe it's slightly different. It's runner name. Okay. So I have to keep it runner name. You guys are going to do runner itself. Okay. And actually, I'm going to build it over here. I'm going to build it in this one with you guys. So I apologize for that. Let me get this going. I want to make sure all these are the same for people watching the video after. Don't want to cause any confusion. Screen flow. All right, I'm almost caught up to you guys. Look up. All right, so it'll be runner underscore C. The label, so if I go back and look at this one, the label for that, is who ran, that's just going to be what is displayed on your screen flow as the title. I mean, you can say who ran, you can just say runner, kind of up to you. I think I'm going to change it and just say runner. Okay. Object API name. is the API name of our mile entry object. So in my current flow, my current org, it's the same. So I'm just going to copy and paste it so I don't have any misspellings there. So mile entry underscore C. All right. And then I'm going to make this required. So when you click into that required field, towards the top, it gives you the option for global constant true. That just means, yes, I want it required. Okay, and that's it. We have our runner selected. We're going to add a date next. So I can double click it and add a date. This one's a little more simple, just date, required, no default value. And that's it. That's super easy. Okay. And then miles ran. Okay, so this is gonna be a number field. I'm gonna go over here. I guess single click those. Number, and this is gonna be miles ran or miles run. I'm going to require that as well, because we want to require all three things when we create that. And I'm actually going to make 2 decimal points on our entries. Okay. And that's pretty much it for this page. Click done there. So we have our entry screen. And then what is the entry screen going to do? It is going to create. It's going to create a record. Okay. I'm going to call it create mileage entry. I'm only going to create one. And I don't have values from a record right now. So I'm going to use the resources from our screen input. And then what type of record are we going to create? We're going to do a mileage entry or mile entry. All right. So what are the 3 fields we have? We have runner. Okay. I'm just going to add all 3. We have date. And then we have miles run. Perfect. So runner, what value do we want to put in there? We are going to use the who ran lookup. Okay. And because it's a lookup, we want to use the ID. We don't want to use the person's name. We want to use the record ID right there. For date, the value. Okay, the screen component, we're going to use the date. And then miles run. Under screen component, miles run. So it makes it pretty easy. And the reason this is easy is because these are all different. This is a lookup component. This is a date component. This is a number field. If they were all text fields, you'd have a bigger list to choose from. So because they're all separate, it's quite a bit easier. So I'm going to click done there. And then in my flow, what I have is a confirmation screen. Okay. So it's basically just going to show a little bit of text at the end. Okay. Saying this person or this entry has been completed. So it's a really easy one to create. Click plus, add screen. I'm going to call it confirmation page. I'm going to configure the footer and remove those other 2 buttons, previous and pause. And just click finish, leave it there. And I'm going to click, oops, I don't need to click done. I need to keep adding stuff to that. All right. So let me take a peek. It is a display text. So over here, find a display, and it's at the bottom. A display text. Okay. And then I'm just going to call it confirmation. It's an API, so you can't have spaces. Confirmation message. And then what do you want it to say? I'm just going to copy what this says. The following entry has been created. So the following entry has been created, and then I'm going to put this time I'm going to use the person's name, because it would look weird if you just had an ID. Person's name, date, and then miles ran. So all three of those things. Okay, I'm going to click done. All right, so this is our screen flow. We want to save that and give it a name. So flow. Click save. All right, and then we can debug this and test it out, make sure it works. So I'm going to click debug. And it should just pop up a giant version of our screen. There's no input variables at all on this. So I'm just going to click run. And this is what our page will look like. Mine are smaller because they're on a component or a utility bar component or crammed into that screen. So I can search for runners and I can see all my runners I currently have. So I'm going to give Akshay. He went crazy. He ran 10 miles. Okay. And then hopefully you see this. The following has been created. Akshay on the date, 10 miles. And if I wanted it to say 10.00 and then miles after it, I can do that. So I kind of want to edit that. I'm going to close this tab. And then over here, I don't like the way that looks. Instead of just giving a number for miles, I'm just going to add the text miles behind it. So then it's going to be, oh, Akshay on today's date ran 10.00 miles. I'm going to click done. Anytime you update it, you have to save it again, activate it. Okay. All right. How much time do we have? 5 minutes. All right. Let's get this on a page somewhere. That's our goal. And we should have our mileage tracker app. We go to Lightning App Builder. Nope, that's not it. All right, App Manager. Let's get to our Mile Tracker app. And we're going to edit. We're going to edit our Mile Tracker app. We are going to get this on our screen somewhere. All right, we should have this all filled out and everything. And I'm actually going to go to the utility items. Okay, we shouldn't have anything there. Add utility item. What do I want to add, right? We're going to add a flow. Okay, and label, I can call this, like, what do I want it to say at the bottom of my screen? So in the one I have built out already, I say I have new entry with a plus sign emoji. Say new entry. And yes, you can use emojis in there if you want. And I can make the screen bigger or smaller, but this is kind of the standard size for those components. And I think it's a good size. So we'll leave it there. And then what flow do I want to use? Okay, I want my mile entry flow or whatever you called yours. And it's just gonna be a one column. Okay, so I'm gonna click save. All right. Added that to, you can change the icon as well if you find something cool. Instead of the icon was the plus. That's what it was. If I go back to my mileage tracker app, let's open it up. Okay, so now I have the utility bar. I can add this from any page I want now. So I have my new entry. I'm gonna add something for my test runner today, 5 miles. Next, finish. Can close it. Let's go to my test runner. You can see the one I just added for 5 miles is there. Okay. No awarded badges, because remember I built that flow out or the process builder in my other org. So you guys should be getting awarded badges though. Okay, and have all these updates as well. All right. That is all I have for you guys today.